Hi and welcome back to FindersBeepers History Seekers for the roundup from Sunday's video. Now this week there's so many things to talk about, and one of the things that we're talking about is the person that actually owned the house previously, and it's all a bit strange, I'm not gonna lie, but we'll get to that in a bit. The first thing that I thought we'd look at was something outside of the house.
What is this? What is this item down here? That looks like a gun emplacement. I don't think it is, but that's what it makes me think of. Or is it a kiln? I don't know what that is. Wait up. Hang on. Well, I thought that went down some stairs then. I thought that was... What is that all about? What is happening here? What are these bits of structure for? Why is there, like, when I've seen shapes like that before, it's where there's been a gun. Bloody hell, I thought someone was shouting then, but it's a cow. Not shouting, just mooing. So look. I don't get it.
And that was the weird sort of coney thing with the round bit round it. So we had a few comments on this, and they all seemed to be the same. And weirdly, before I'd even looked at the comments, my dad had come to me and said, you know what, that's for grinding stuff up. It's to put a horse round the outside, or somebody pushing it, but more likely a horse walking round and round and round in circles to grind up all the corn or wheat or whatever it is they were grinding at that point. I think that sounds about right, and you guys seem to think the same as well, so it's looking right to me. Now next up, something that I didn't mention in the video at all, which I probably should have done, but I didn't find out until afterwards. So as I made my way back up the hill, I got up to the bit and I was like, bye. And it was really, really windy. Just after that, I came to a sign. Now, I didn't take a photograph of the sign, but I got some photos 2 minutes earlier that sort of tie in with it. Now, basically, it said on the sign that it was a live sort of shooting range, an MOD shooting range. So I was slap bang in the middle of an area I wasn't supposed to be. Now, I think I would have been pretty safe because there was livestock around that bit, but I'm guessing at the other side of the hill, where I was sort of aiming towards, that's where they would have done it. Just before that, I'd seen, and I'd posted on Facebook about seeing big platoons of army men and a big van thing and stuff like that. And that was just before I headed off into the wilderness up on the moors. So I'm presuming they were all off up to do sort of mission-y type things, training and stuff, up on those moors as well. So you never know, I could have gone, but I doubt it very much. So I didn't mention that at the time, so I thought, why not tell you now? Now, the amount of you that were like, oh, I wish I could have gone in there and read the books. I would have spent hours, I would have spent days. I would have loved to have been in there and have a look.
Some of these books are good though, look. These are more sort of older books by the looks of things. I don't know how old. I don't think they're English. 1897, and that is in perfect condition inside. Those pages are crisp as they come. So all these, I'm reckoning, are the older style books.
I'm a book person, I really am. I don't probably read as much as I probably should. I used to read quite a lot, but I think a book, you're touching it, it's something that you go back to time and time again. It makes it more of a personal item. People write their names in the front. It may be a gift and you write who that's from, or like there's a library stamp. There's a stamp and it sort of shows where that's come from and who it belonged to, and it was part of your life. Even if you read it once and then it was on your bookshelf, it was there all the time, a regular thing that was there. And I sort of like that. I like that about books, and I like the fact that it sort of shows a time in people's lives. So people's thoughts on things 200 years ago would be very different to our thoughts on things now. And I think books are very good at putting that across. So I love it, and I know you guys are the same as well. The comments just show that so much.
I've heard of him. L. Ron Hubbard. Is he racist? I've heard of L. Ron Hubbard, and I feel like he might be like someone dodgy, but I'm not 100% sure. Once again, laying in bed, doing editing, and realised I've forgotten something altogether. So, Mr. Hubbard, Ron Summit Hubbard, I can't even remember his name. He was the Scientologist. He was the guy that started Scientology. So, yeah, people commented about that as well, and I totally missed it out. So, I've included it now, but I'm not going back to the office just to talk about it. So, I'm here in bed. So, there you go.
Now, a lot of you commented on how much you loved the area it was in as well. Now, I didn't do a behind the scenes in Devon and Cornwall, and I wish I had. However, I can probably show you, I don't know if I've got any videos. I can't remember if I did or not. I know I've got some photos, so I'll put whatever I've got in and let you have a look at it now. But it won't be very much, but it just gives you a bit of an idea. There's loads of wild horses just wandering around. Obviously, loads of other wildlife as well. It's a beautiful place. Shame I didn't get better weather than I got, but it's still an amazing place to visit. Now, one thing that I got one comment that sort of, I don't know, is a strange one really, saying that they thought my video was very sharp and clear and bright, and the picture was lovely, and it just, I don't know, it was like it's through a viewfinder or whatever. But what a lot of people don't realise is I film on an iPhone. It's not some big fancy camera that costs hundreds and thousands of pounds. It's just an iPhone. I know they cost like, I think about £1,500, but it just shows for me that the quality's still there. People still like it. Maybe not as much in low light, but that's what the torches are for. But either way, I think it comes across really well, and I think it picks up the colours and the depths and stuff like that really, really well. And when I'm climbing through windows, it's a lot easier to stick that in my pocket than a big bulky DSLR. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to let people know, because not everybody knows I edit, I film, I do the thumbnails, I do everything on an iPhone. Every single last element of the video, apart from Bear's videos, I do everything on an iPhone.
Not even 17 or 1600s. I reckon there's been something here since well before that. Looking at the sort of stone cobbles on the floor as well, the big old ones. But this place would have been fantastic when it was all done. Oh my God. Now, I knew there were books in here because I'd seen a photograph, but I did not expect this. These are all books. Bagged up. Shelf after shelf. Books. Just loads of books. What the hell is going on here? But I never expected this. Surely this guy's not read all this. Wendy? Are these Wendy's books? Because she's into Danielle Steele.
Now it comes down to the owner himself or herself. There's two lines of thinking on this. So I've had quite a few people that live locally that tell me that it is somebody that used to run a local bookshop from his farm in the middle of the moors. That would make sense. It'd make a lot of sense, to be fair. However, I've then read an article about something strange, and I will find that for you now. Right, so this is the article. A real-life mystery, former Cornish home of little-known 90s crime author Harriet Hicks has been found, abandoned and filled with hundreds of unsold books. After she vanished from public eye in 2006, she's not been heard from since. The property was owned by little-known author Harriet Hicks and was discovered in rural Cornwall. The comedy crime author vanished from the public eye in 2006 and nobody knows what happened to her. Explorers called Lost Adventures, I know Lost Adventures, he's a good lad, discovered the abandoned house stuffed with hundreds of books. The former home of little-known crime, it keeps repeating itself, crime novelist has been discovered abandoned and filled with hundreds of unsold books 14 years after vanished from the public eye. A group of urban explorers found the house full of books. Jesus Christ, I'm sure we've read the same sentence a different way 17 times. At a rural location in Cornwall and filmed the interior of the decrepit home, filled with decaying food and stacks of unsold crime novels piled into the ceiling. They were also stuffed with sealed novels that looked like they were ready to be published. Now, I don't know if this is the same place. I'm going to have a look back and see on their videos and see if I can find it, because I've not looked, to be fair.
Hi, it's future editing Matt again. So, I did do some research on this afterwards. Obviously, I just got back from Belfast and Dublin and I hadn't had a chance to look through this. I have now had chance and it's not the same place. It is really strange, though, that something is so similar in such a similar area. But yeah, I've had a look. Still go across and look at Lost Adventures video because it is really, really good. But yeah, it's not the same place.
And I've told you before, even though I'm friends with all these people, I don't watch other explorers' videos just because I don't want to spoil videos for them. But this seems to match quite closely. So it might be right, it might be wrong. It's on the moors, it's in Cornwall, it's stuffed with books. It sort of seems to make sense. Now, somebody called Julie sent me this. And like I said, I've not had a look, but it might be worth popping over to their channel, have a look. Lost Adventures, really, really good anyway, worth a look. Cornish author Miss Hicks was known for her comedy crime capers and murder mysteries, including Trouble in Topsham, Problems in Polperro, and Shooting in St Sturday. Published in the late 90s and early 2000s, but she's not been heard from since she published her last book in 2006. No trace of her exists on the internet, and it's unclear why she's left and where she now lives. Explorers who work under the name of Lost Adventures have now issued a plea for someone to save what they described as literature gold mine before it becomes damaged beyond repair, and they believe they could be unpublished work among the handwritten notes. One member of the group, known as Ben, said, "We were sent the pin in Cornwall and all they said was, the house full of books." Now, like I said, that might be totally wrong. It might be the wrong location. There may be another book in the middle of the moors. Another book? Another house in the middle of the moors full of books. It might be totally wrong. But it is nice to see these things that are sent through. Not everything's going to be right. You're not always going to send me the right information. But it gives you guys something else to look into. Something else to compare it to. And maybe find a new channel that you like as well. Like I said, they've done some really good explores in the past. And I've had loads of conversations. Someone's beeping outside the door. So yeah, really, really good bit of information. Thank you, Julie, for that one.
What is this? Is it like a flask? Directions for hot contents and cold contents. I bet it's glass. I bet it's got a glass liner inside. Oh yeah, glass liner. It says it there, look.
Now, one of the other items that really wasn't mentioned very often in the comments, just one of the comments, just made me think, I've got to mention this one. So, the flask, the big flask that I found that I said had got maybe a glass inside to it, somebody's put, the flask is an air ministry flask used by the RAF aircrew on flying operations during World War II. Bomber crews, for example, if I remember rightly, it wasn't opened until they were on the way home, out of range of the enemy. It was bad luck to drink the coffee before they hit their target. See, things like that, little comments. There might only be one comment about it, but for me, that's made that explore even more personal, even more interesting, because just think where that flask's been. Has that been up on a raid in World War II? Who was in that with them? What was destroyed? What was their target? It's just so good. I love stuff like this. I really, really do. And you look at the place and you think, is it just books? Is it just a big building full of boring books? But no, there's little details waiting to be found. Now, there's not loads and loads and loads of things to talk about on this one, obviously, because majority are books. But there's enough there to spark people's interest and get talking about it, and that's what I love. So keep commenting on all the videos. The more comments on there, the more I've got to pick out and I can use. And I am sorry if I've not used any of yours. Quick tip, if you want to get your comment in the video, make it quite short, to the point and short, because if it's this long, I can't fit it on the page. So on this page, on the screen, I can't fit it on the screen. So if you make it quite small, I can fit it along the bottom. So rather than saying, in 1932 there was a man called John, and John went out for a walk one day. Just go, oh, a man found this at the bottom of the garden. Do you know what I mean? Just keep it nice and short, nice and sweet, and something easy for me to fit along the bottom of the page. And odds on, you'll probably get your comment included. Anyway, I'm off, because I've had a very tiring weekend in Italy. That's how tiring it was. I don't know what country I was in Ireland. I'm exhausted. So I'm getting this video done for you for tomorrow, and then I'm having a break. I've edited this Sunday's video and the Sunday after, so I'm having a few days where I do nothing. Anyway, love you all, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.